The athletic tradition at Clemson has long been reserved for the gridiron. But now it's basketball grabbing the spotlight. The surprising Tigers have earned their way to the Eastern Regionals, relying on a strong inside game that has sparked them to 2 impressive comeback victories. Now Cliff Ellis and his upstarts from the ACC face their boldest challenge yet as they confront the Huskies of Connecticut, the new young power in the Big East, who defied all preseason odds by capturing their conference championship. And with textbook efficiency, they have steamrolled through the tournament's early rounds, serving notice that their dream season might be far from over. Welcome to the continuing coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship. New York City, the backdrop, and across the river in New Jersey. This is the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, and a sellout of more than 19,000 fans on hand to witness the regional semifinals. Later on, it'll be the Duke Blue Devils against the UCLA Bruins. But coming up first, it'll be the Clemson Tigers of the Atlantic Coast Conference against the #1 seed from the Big East, the Connecticut Huskies. Stockton, one of the big stories of the entire college basketball season has been the University of Connecticut Huskies. They are 30-5 on the year. No one thought they'd go this far. In fact, they were picked to finish 8th in the Big East when the season started. Jim Calhoun could likely be the coach of the year. They've had a great year. But what about Clemson? They were picked from 5th to 8th in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and they were the regular season champions for the first time in 37 years. An improbable matchup at this time of the year. My partner is Hubie Brown, and Hubie, there is no question whatsoever that the issue today is, can the Clemson Tigers handle a relentless and suffocating full-court pressure by Connecticut?
Well, they have struggled during the season, Dick, but you know, their coach, Cliff Ellis, said that they are going to attack, and they are not going to be passive about this. Once they get the ball over half court, they're attacking and going for the score. Now, when you look at Connecticut, they want to play 94 feet, use 10 guys, wear you down, force a ton of turnovers. They're anchored defensively by the Dove Hennefeld, who just set a new NCAA record for steals for a freshman at 130.
Now, the question is, if Clemson is successful in bringing it across center court, they have the duo of doom, Dale Davis and Eldon Campbell, who are 2 tremendous players. How good are they, Hubie?
Well, they're as good as anyone. We're talking 2 first-round draft picks. Now, from an offensive standpoint, they're the only people who score in double figures. But from a defensive standpoint, the shot blocking, the rebounding, and then to ignite their own fast break. They call them the Doom guys because they funnel everything towards them. It should be an interesting night. All
right, so now here's how the teams got to where they are. Connecticut winning their first 2 games with ease over BU and California. First time since 1976 they've made the final 16. For the Clemson Tigers, this is the first time they've reached this far in 10 years, and they had to come from behind for victories over Brigham Young and LaSalle in the first round in Hartford, Connecticut. And right now, for the introduction of the starting lineups, let's go to our public address announcer, Dom Alagio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Meadowlands Arena for tonight's East Regional semifinal game between the Clemson Tigers and the Connecticut Huskies. And now let's meet the starting lineups. For Clemson at forward, a 6'7" junior from Baltimore, Maryland, number 22, Sean Tyson. For Connecticut, at forward, a 6'5" freshman from Hamden, Connecticut, number 24, Scott Burrell. For Clemson, at forward, a 6'11" junior from Toccoa, Georgia, number 34, Dale Davis. For Connecticut, at forward, a 6'7½" freshman from Ramat Hasharon, Israel, number 40, Nadav Hennefeld. For For Clemson at center, a 6'11" senior from Inglewood, California, number 41, Eldon Campbell. For Connecticut at center, a 6'6" freshman from Orlando, Florida, number 42, Torino Walker. For Clemson at guard, a 6'3" senior from Bronx, New York, number 12, Marion Cash. For Connecticut at guard, a 6'2" sophomore from Bridgeport, Connecticut, number 13, Chris Smith. For Clemson at guard, a 6'3" senior from Malone, Florida, number 13, Derek Forrest. For Connecticut at guard, a 6'5" senior from Newark, New Jersey, number 32, Tate George. And introducing the head coaches for the Clemson Tigers in his 6th season, Cliff Ellis. For the Connecticut Huskies in his 4th season, Jim Calhoun. The officials,
And so we're in
Jim
the
Bain,
first meeting
Jim
ever between
Stupin, and David Bair.
the Meadowlands. Connecticut against Clemson here at the Meadowlands Arena, and the officials working tonight's regional semifinal. Jim Bain from Mattoon, Illinois. Jim Stupin, he's out of Cypress, California, and Dave Bair from Lexington, Kentucky are the officials. This is the first of 4 games that'll be played. They'll be playing concurrently in Dallas in the Midwest Regional, and we're underway. Clemson in orange controls. Connecticut will be wearing white. Marion Cash out of the Bronx, New York, the point guard.
Now Connecticut's sitting in a 2-3 zone to start the game. And remember, the major point here with Clemson is they are not a great shooting team, but their offensive board play of Davis and Campbell, very good.
Campbell had the ball taken away, but traveling called against Torino Walker.
You can never underestimate the foot quickness of the Connecticut Huskies.
Here's Campbell. Sean Tyson starting, and here's Marion Cash. There they are trying to crash the boards. Clemson losing the ball, and now Connecticut.
Connecticut is going to try to go with the passing game.
Torino Walker, who is starting in place of the 6'9" Rod Sellers, who re-injured his knee against Cal and ligament damage in the Big East semifinals. So Sellers not playing tonight. Walker is in there, and the foul is called against Scott Burrell of the UConn. There is Jim Calhoun in his 3rd year, Big East Coach of the Year, and the genuine article.
He has his type of player. It takes you a while when you take over a new program to get your type of guy. And he loves the quickness of the young players.
Here's Eldon Campbell. Rebound by Hennefeld. With the ball in the hands of Tate George. Chris Smith, the leading scorer, number 13.
Now this is by design. They want to take Campbell away from the basket by playing 4 of their offensive players out on the perimeter.
Getting inside is Smith, and the rebound pulled down by Campbell.
You can't underestimate the foot quickness of Clemson.
Sean Tyson misses from the corner, and a foul is called, and it may be against Derek Forrest of Clemson.
Now you'll see that as we get the drive going to the basket here, the more that they can get Campbell at 6'11" away from the basket, all that Connecticut will have to worry about is beating Dale Davis to the glass.
Campbell at 6'11", Davis also at 6'11". Campbell is the senior. Hennefeld is setting a screen right now for Tate George, the only senior on the Connecticut squad. Walker goes back out to Smith. Rebound by Campbell. 2-0 still Connecticut, and nearly 2 minutes gone by. Swarming defense by Connecticut starting out of the zone. So far, Clemson is patient. Cash gets in the lane, and there's Campbell, who's foul going up, and that foul will be called against Chris Smith.
You'll see on this shot opportunity that's going up, watch the orange shirts. Now, when we see this, we say that there are two 6'11" guys in here who are really big, and both of them have long arms. We're talking about reaches of over 100 inches. Now, even if they're blocked out, they can reach up over the top of you and still take away the rebound at either end of the floor.
Here's Eldon Campbell out of Inglewood, California. A laid-back California who's had to be prodded by Coach Cliff Ellis now and again.
I like that laid-back. You're right. He has an awful lot of talent, Dick, and is going to be very sought after in the NBA draft. He can play at the top of the circle and also has a good game facing the basket.
Tate George is deflected momentarily by Young, who's in the game. Burrell puts it up, and the rebound down by Dale Davis. And here's Clemson with the ball. David Young has come in the game as a guard. Davis goes in, but he travels before the shot.
We can't emphasize enough early to you that we know Connecticut is quick, but do not underestimate the foot speed going from end to end of the Clemson ball club.
Basically three guards. Derek Forrest, who started at guard, now playing up front. As Sean Tyson came out of the game early for Clemson. High to 2. Burrell setting the screen and fighting right through it is Marion Cash. George gets inside, and it's rejected by Eldon Campbell. There's the shot blocking we talked about, and Clemson with the ball.
That's right. Cliff Ellis says this is my best defensive team.
Eldon Campbell misses from outside. Neither team is a good shooting team, and Eldon Campbell commits a silly foul.
On this replay, you'll see the penetration. A very nice move by Tate George going down in, but there's your double team, see? And what they do, not only do they block the shot, but they force you into taking poor percentage shots once you break that foul line area.
There have been 11 shots taken in the game, only one basket made. That by Connecticut. Burrell goes up and it's deflected out of bounds by Campbell. Still Connecticut ball. So far, the inside play of Clemson has had its impact. Tigers have won 11 of their last 14. Connecticut has won 6 in a row. Walker tried to get the short pass in there and another turnover. Here comes Marion Cash, strong to the hoop, and he's fouled. And that foul will be against Tate George of the UConn.
Now what we're seeing early is that Marion Cash, who is going to be on the foul line right now, he has to accept an awful lot of pressure, Dick, because they are leaving him almost naked in the backcourt to get the basketball up and break the press. Now early, he's going to try to do it off the dribble. As this ball game wears on, I don't think you can get away with that over a long period of time.
Tate George leaves the game and was replaced by John Gwynn, as Jim Calhoun is looking for a spark off the bench. There's Cliff Ellis in his 6th full year, was at South Alabama in Mobile, and wanted the tradition of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Finds himself with a regular season championship. Cash makes 1 out of 2. 3.5 minutes gone by in the first half. Clemson over UConn 3-2. NFL hasn't done much offensively so far. Try to pass it inside and the turnover. And they're going to call a foul. And it's going to be on the Dove Hennefeld. Let's see if, yes it is.
See, every time so far that Connecticut has gone to the basket off the dribble, they beat the initial guy, but all they're doing is funneling you into either one of the two big shot blockers.
And here's the full court pressure by Connecticut. So far has not been a factor in this game.
Oh, never pick it up right here. You should never pick up the basketball as soon as you cross half court, because now you're vulnerable for the trap.
David Young traveling. Chris Smith going baseline. Walker and Cash. Cash causes another turnover.
And we're seeing the wrong team causing all the turnovers here tonight.
It's always the unexpected, you know. Somebody said this was going to be an easy Connecticut win, and may prove to be that way. But so far, Clemson is playing them tough. Here's Dale Davis. with his first shot of the game, misses. Torreno Walker, the freshman from Orlando.
Boy, I like Walker's size inside early. He's really going at him. Beautiful.
Feeds inside to Burrell. So there you get a look at the Dub Hennefeld, who's only a freshman but plays as if he's been playing this kind of brand of basketball for more than that. Former Israeli national team member.
See, you must keep the ball out of this corner or you're not going to get anything. Connecticut will eventually turn you over.
David Young. This is outside and it's put in by Eldon Campbell. Here are the second shots by Clemson. You want to talk about pure athletic skill? Clemson has the edge on Connecticut.
He was a foot over the rim that time and just easily dropped it in.
Win, the spark plug and the good shooter off the bench. Trying to get something going for UConn. Tipped away, and again it's Clemson, and Connecticut only getting one shot at the basket. A tight defense on Eldon Campbell. Throws up the air ball, but David Young on the other side sets it up. Here's Campbell again. And Clemson is unable to hit any kind of jump shot so far. They're 1 for 10 from the field. Gwynn coming back and hits. John Gwynn from DeMatha High School in Hyattsville, Maryland. So far, Clemson's been able to beat the press. Forrest going strong to the hoop. And the foul called against Connecticut. Derek Forrest showing some quickness.
Now watch Eldon Campbell get to the top of this rim right now. There's your rebound. He came up over the blockout man, and he made that one look awfully easy.
Foul is on Torreno Walker and a couple of big people coming in for UConn. Coming up shortly, North Carolina and Arkansas, the Midwest Regional in Dallas. Later on, it'll be Xavier against Texas. In the other regional in action tonight, Connecticut up by 1. Eldon Campbell misses, and now they get the ball back. Hennefeld batted it back to Campbell, who hits only the second basket of his first half by Clemson. Rod Sellers, who re-injured his knee and was not expected to play, has come into the game now for Connecticut. Hennefeld misses outside. Gwynn with the offensive rebound, and a Clemson foul inside. They're calling for a goaltending, but it'll just be a foul against UConn. There is Sellers, who's the most dependable inside player for UConn. Had ligament damage in the Big East semifinals and then went down against Cal. Jim Calhoun still claiming goaltending.
Well, they want a goaltend on that, and in my opinion, the shot was blocked on the way up, plus the ball was short, and it was coming down when they got it the second time. Now remember, in order to get a goaltending call, the ball must have an opportunity of going into the basket.
John Gwynn misses the free throw.
Now you'll see they get it right there first, and then he caught it right there. That ball was short. Now that angle for you, you might have a bad look at it there, but we had a perfect angle from where we're sitting.
David Young committing the foul for Clemson. 7-7 the score. And here's the turnover. Tate George into the corner. John Gwynn misses, but there's Sellers with the follow-up. He is limping, and he's not 100%, but he's already paid dividends.
Yeah, but you see, with the two big guys, when you come with big people, the opportunity of the offensive rebound's there.
And Clemson throws it away again. 2 straight turnovers.
Well, anytime you beat the press and you are putting it down on the floor, you cannot take your eye and look at the ball bouncing, and that's exactly what Campbell did. So when he picked it up to throw the ball, the guy had already moved, forcing a turnover.
Ricky Jones, a 6'7" junior out of Pendleton, South Carolina, has come into the game for Clemson. He's a good rebounder. It is still Connecticut's ball. Both teams off to a horrendous shooting night here.
But coming into this game, Dick, the people out of the ACC conference very high on the Clemson defense. They only let you shoot 41% for the entire season. Everyone knows how pesky and tenacious that you have the UConn defense.
John Gwynn from the corner, a 2-point basket. And now it's 11-7, so 2 straight turnovers, and Connecticut is up by 4. Just under 13 minutes to go in the first half. Dale Davis back in the game, replacing Eldon Campbell, who goes to the bench for the first time. Derek Forrest loses the ball momentarily. Here's Davis. And Davis goes inside. First basket for Dale Davis, who's averaging over 15 a game. And an offensive foul will be called against John Gwynn of UConn.
Actually, Cliff Ellis is happy Jimmy Calhoun's doing a dance. Now you see they're claiming there that the defensive player had 2 feet on the ground and also that his chest was squared up with your chest. Now, the reason why the Connecticut people are going wild is that Gwynn was going, you know, sideline to sideline. He was not penetrating going to the basket.
Gwynn is out of the game, scored 5 points while he was in there off the bench. Another turnover. Burrell caused it. Tate George missing. Scott Burrell fouled. We're at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown. It's Clemson against Connecticut in the first game of our regional semifinal. Later on, it'll be Duke and UCLA. Connecticut leading 11-9. Clemson handled the full court pressure early on, but now it's starting to take its toll.
Well, they're falling asleep, Dick, and they're allowing the people to get a piece of the ball as they are standing still. You know, if you are going to pick up your dribble, you must look up the floor, or however you are designating your players to overload the zone, and pass the basketball.
Scott Burrell, freshman from Hamden, Connecticut, turned down an offer from the Seattle Mariners to be the #1 draft pick. Coming into the game now is Lyman DePriest, who is a tremendous defender for Connecticut. Ricky Jones had committed the foul and a 4-point UConn lead.
All pressing teams play in peaks and valleys, and they're always looking for that quick burst.
Arian Cash, the point guard, gets it across. Cash runs into Hennefeld. Good trap on him.
See, this is where UConn is underrated, and that's in their half-court defense from the top of the circle down.
Eric Forrest missed the shot from outside. There's the lead pass inside to DePriest. And he beat the defense down court.
Well, Dick, in the last 2 to 3 minutes, they are getting easy opportunities, and even when they shoot and miss, Connecticut has been able to get on the offensive glass to keep it alive.
Murray Williams will come in for UConn. There's Eldon Campbell coming back. Williams, a junior from Torrington, Connecticut, will come in probably for Nadev Hennefeld. UConn in front. Connecticut's trapped.
Not only are they tough in the backcourt, but this is where they are really excellent. You'll see as they step out and get this trap, they will seal off the outlet passes.
Connecticut is on a 9-2 run the last 2 minutes, and they've been able to get the ball away from Clemson in the backcourt. And there is a double dribble discontinue against Clemson. That's the 7th turnover against the Tigers.
See, what's happening, Dick, is that there are no set areas for the Clemson guys to be going to. Once they are catching the basketball, they're saying we are going to beat you off the dribble. And in the last 5 minutes, they have not been able to do that.
Tate George is the point guard. He's in there with Chris Smith. DePriest is in there. And a 3-point basket by Chris Smith, leading scorer for the Huskies at 17 a game, and now a 9-point lead. UConn has doubled Clemson.
See, they're making them waste a lot of time in the backcourt.
There's another turnover, and it's taken quickly right back by Derek Forrest. But Clemson is really having its problems now bringing the ball up.
See, they're spending so much. Here's where they must score, right here.
And Eldon Campbell, foul going to the hoop. Some teams, as you say, like to pull back, others attack, and yesterday Cliff Ellis said they're going to attack.
Now here you'll see Clemson, they take the trap, now they have a 3-on-1 situation. This must be a layup. See, that was a bad decision. If he would have gone to his left, you had an uncontested dunk. What this does is it puts Campbell on the foul line, and he must make the 2 foul shots. Now, why is that a big factor in this game? Clemson is a very poor foul-shooting basketball team.
And Campbell, in particular, shoots 57%. Foul was on Sellers, 1 out of 2 for Campbell, and it's 18-10. Cliff Ellis trying to keep his team in the game now with Nearly 11 minutes remaining in the first half. 7 points for Campbell to lead Clemson. Wynn still leads UConn with 5. Tate George, triple team. Crashing the boards was Williams. Here come the Tigers. David Young with the ball. And they throw the ball away. And David Young once again going to his bench. And Torreno Walker will be checking back in for Connecticut.
See, when you play against the majority of pressing teams at any level, what they do is once you break the press and reverse the ball and you get it up, they take the press off. Well, Connecticut does not do that. They want 2 traps in the backcourt. Then when you get over half court, they are coming at you again for a 3rd trap. And that's where they've been getting Clemson totally out of their offense.
Ricky Jones leads the game, and Kirkland Howling, a 6'4" senior guard who's a good shooter, has come in. Here's Smith again. That's a 2-point basket. So already Chris Smith starts to get going. He has 5 points now, 20-10. They need the big man to help bring the ball across. And it's still Clemson ball.
In the early going, I'm very, very impressed with the Connecticut. Once they get that trap, how quick they cover the pass, the next pass, their rotation, excellent.
Only 1 basket in the last 3 minutes. Howling, a good long-range shooter. Covered tightly.
So when they're back now, they're in a 2-3 zone.
Eric Forrest goes baseline. A long drought by Clemson, trailing by 8. David Young is guarding Tate George. He goes all the way in, and Tate George now with his first basket of the game.
What Clemson falling asleep that time. There was no reason why there was not an attempt at blocking that shot.
Clemson was able to handle the early going, led by 1, but Connecticut has stormed with some terrific full court pressure. Nothing is coming easy for the Tigers now. Eldon Campbell. Foul going, and it'll be Torreno Walker with his 2nd personal.
You know, I honestly believe, off of what we've seen so far, that Connecticut is tougher defensively from the top of the circle to the basket than they even are in the backcourt when they're pressuring you.
There's Nadav Hannafeld coming back. Stories are legion. The former Israeli national player has become a legend at UConn in his freshman year. Like the campus atmosphere. Dan Cerulik making his first appearance. 7'1" sophomore out of Williamsville, New York. He started the first 10 games for UConn, and Campbell is on the line, leading scorer thus far for Clemson. He is a graphic communications major, and in fact has an older brother playing in Israel. So there's a connection between Eldon Campbell and Nadav Hannafeld.
He's just set a record at Clemson. He's the first player ever to get 100 blocks, 100 steals. And, you know, that's really quite a feat when you consider he's 6'11".
UConn's lead is 8. Biggest lead has been 10 points. By
design, Jimmy Calhoun is taking NFL with Campbell, and he just keeps taking him out away from the basket.
Tate George going inside again. Campbell comes down with it for Clemson.
See, Clemson's got to get the basketball out and up the floor if they're going to score some easy baskets here. You think that your strength are your 2 big people at 6'11", the amount of shot opportunities they have is almost negligible.
They may be calling Cerulik with the foul, and let's see if it is. It is against Cerulik. Already Clemson is in the bonus situation. So Dale Davis going to the free throw line. He came into the game averaging 15. Davis has scored just 2 thus far and has been really kept out of the offense by the Connecticut defense. was cut twice from his high school team and stood only 6 feet 4 inches tall in the 10th grade. And he has really shot up. He is 6'11" right now, a junior. Mr. Scowl with the look on his face. You can understand that, Hubie.
Mike Krzyzewski said he is a relentless rebounder. Has outstanding talent.
And he hits both free throws. Clemson 8 for 10 from the free throw line. Now down by 6.
See, if I'm coaching the Clemson team, I was seeing a zone for the first time. It's like a 1-2-2 or a flat 3-2 type of a zone. What they're going to try to do is keep Connecticut outside and force them to take the perimeter shot. Hello.
Chris Smith with his second three-point basket, now with 8 points. He leads Connecticut. Campbell with 9 as tops for Clemson. Tigers bring them across. Howling. He's a good three-point shooter. They're not even giving him any kind of a chance to get it off. Driving the baseline, kicked down by Cerulic is Derek Forrest. Here's a 3-on-1 fast break for UConn, and it's Smith. And followed up in the basket by Lyman DePriest, his second hoop, and he's a defensive specialist.
Oh, they're just doing an outstanding job on the offensive board. They have the feel now.
Biggest lead of the game right now for Connecticut, and a foul called against UConn.
This is Connecticut at their best. Watch this baseline drive. See the 3 white shirts. Even on this pass off, you cannot get, they even get a piece of that ball on the pass. I'm telling you, I'm really impressed with them. All year, I think across the country, you hear about their press, you just think it's in the back court. They're doubly tough. Top of the circle down.
Edifield with his second personal foul. Scott Burrell has checked in the game for UConn. Well, you don't get to be 30-5. And win the Big East championship by accident. This team started to be a surprise earlier in the year. They proved long ago they were the real thing. Miss on the free throw. Clemson can ill afford that. Smith goes up and draws the foul. No, an offensive foul called against Chris Smith. That'll be his second.
Excellent call that time. Chris put the forearm right on the defensive player and cleared him out.
Close games we've had in this tournament. 22 games decided by 4 or less. The ACC, not heralded going in now, still has 4 teams. Loyola Marymount, 149 points, and they'll be playing tomorrow night against Alabama. Chris Smith goes out of the game for Connecticut and replaced by John Gwynn. Clemson only 2 baskets and a 5-second violation called against Clemson. That's their 11th turnover. The Lady Tigers were eliminated tonight. Tennessee, the defending national champion, beat Clemson 80-62. So a sad night for Donna Forrest, Derek's wife, who played down in Norfolk. Shot missed by Gwynn, and now Clemson trying to come back down by 11. Clemson only 2 baskets in the last 7 minutes.
See, when can you think of an uncontested shot by Clemson in the last 6 minutes? Now, they were getting them early, but then Connecticut, UConn made their adjustments in their traps and in their philosophy for the game. Now they're realizing that they're putting so much pressure on the backcourt people at Clemson. They cannot find the 2 big guys to get them the basketball.
Derek Forrest leaves. Sean Tyson replaces him for Clemson. Foul was on Tate George, his second, and here is Howling on the line. Senior from Los Angeles. 6:48 remaining in the first half. Clemson had an early lead of a point, and then Connecticut made good use of their pressure and had an 11-point lead seconds ago, their biggest of the game. But this is a team, Clemson, that has had lapses all season long.
Well, they can't take advantage of the foul, and that's the first place they've given away a lot of points. Plus, they've had some nice, easy shots underneath on second shot opportunities and can't score.
Cerulic, the 7-footer, playing outside to try to draw Dale Davis out there. Here's Tate George missing a 3. The rebound by Davis. corner. And the rebound by Davis, and the foul will be called against Clemson. Underway in Dallas in the first half, Arkansas leading North Carolina in that Midwest Regional semifinal.
See, you can play small people and press full court. Now, right away, you know, Cliff Ellis, he knows he's got a problem here tonight. Because when the shots are going up, UConn players, even though they are smaller, are getting into the chest of the Clemson players and moving them away from the board, so they cannot get any offensive rebounds.
Dale Davis had committed his first foul for Clemson.
We're in a box and one right now. This is the second time in a row that Clemson is in it. They have a player on Hennefeld right now.
Cerulic inside. Dan Cerulic, a good shooter. He started the Syracuse game and began the season, but they started him against the Orange Men in the Big East Championship game.
It's a 1-3-1, the first time we've seen this half-court trap.
Tyson gets it over to Howling. 12-point lead is the biggest right now for Connecticut, with 5:25 to go in the first half.
See, you must react quickly and get your people into the areas where you can beat that front line.
Davis goes across to the baseline to Howling. Howling gets hit. The basket is good, and the foul as well. Scott Burrell committing it, and a chance for a three-point play by Howling.
That was a very difficult shot. He's down on the baseline area. You'll see it right here. This is a tough area. Now watch, once he goes, he's halfway. Excellent contesting by the Connecticut defender, even though he did get a piece of his wrist that time.
Well, Eldon Campbell's going to come back in the game for Clemson. He's their leading scorer with 9 points as Dale Davis sits down, and Chris Smith comes in for UConn. There's Campbell. Howling with the three-point conversion, and it's 29-20. Clemson's been at the line 14 times, but they missed a lot of early open shots that they're not getting now. Wynn with a long-range three-pointer is hit by Marion Cash. And we'll go to the line. Cash, the senior point guard, has not played all that much in this first half.
Well, you know, Cliff Ellis is worried here. He says his ball club is excellent coming from behind, and they've done it in a number of big-time games this year. But what I would be nervous about if I were he is the fact that I am not getting good shot opportunities at the basket, and my 2 best scorers are not getting any shots, period.
Cerulic trying to look for the ball inside. Wynn with the drive. Burrell gets the offensive rebound. Rejected by Campbell. Here comes Clemson, but they will not push it up. They had a 4-on-2 advantage momentarily. Tyson hits from outside. Clemson looking to hit some of those perimeter shots, and for Sean Tyson, who started the game.
Now here's Campbell making a good move. It's big people are excellent defenders, not just because they block the shot, but because they also change the shot. And we've had a case there of him executing both.
Foul was on Wayne Buckingham, the 6'9" freshman from Atlanta, into the game. So here is Cerulic on the line, 1-1 with 4:23 to play. And the rebound by Campbell. So we've got Campbell at 6'11" and Buckingham at 6'9". One's a power man, Buckingham. Campbell is quick. And a backcourt violation called against Clemson, and turnover number 12.
You know, I like the way you and I jumped on that. That pass was coming across. You can never run down the floor in a basketball game when your team has the ball and you do not see the basketball. I mean, that was a perfect pass. They were going to rotate it. Unfortunately, Eldon Campbell running down the floor had no idea that the pass was coming to him.
Sean Lastinger, freshman guard from Atlanta at 6'1", coming in. Cliff Ellis trying to find some sort of a combination to get the Tigers back in the game. Now under 4 minutes to go. Wynn goes up and loses it out of bounds.
See, Clemson is giving us a number of looks right now. They are playing a box and one and change the runner on some players, and then they also are giving us a triangle and two at times.
Connecticut leading by 7, and in this crowd is Dom Perno, who coached the UConn for 9 years and won 20 games for a couple of seasons before giving way to Jim Calhoun. Wonder what he thinks about all this.
I tell you, they retreat and get in the passing lanes. It's really interesting to watch. But Clemson, they'll just take their time.
Sean Tyson hits from the baseline. Connecticut lead is down to 5, was 12.
And that will really help because that's the second shot that Tyson has made from that side. And then maybe they'll come out and play him a little tighter and open up the inside game.
Clemson is on a 7-0 run right now in the waning minutes of the first half. Gwynn, in and out tip. There's an offensive rebound by DePriest. Sellers and Gwynn. There's Gwynn again. And there it is. Great hustle by John Gwynn, averaging 11 a game. He's got 7 points off the bench for UConn. Clemson now has a 3-on-2. Tyson very nearly turned it over. Davis misses the layup, and there was a great opportunity for Clemson. They've got it again, and Howling can't get a better opportunity than that.
No, you can't. The opportunity, wide open shots have been there, plus the foul line.
Once again, it's John Gwynn with 9 points, and the UConn bench has outscored Clemson 17-5. They up the lead again to 9.
Can't dilly-dally back here.
And they didn't make it over. The 10-second violation called against Clemson. Turns it over to UConn.
Now here you have excellent offensive board play and a strong move by a player who's only 6 foot, 6'1", but he's 190 pounds, Gwynn. He took it right into the heart of the defense.
Who would have ever expected UConn to have the offensive rebounding edge on Clemson as they do? DePriest. Sellers not expected to play, yet in there, and Gwynn gets inside. Lastinger comes down with it. 6'1", the shortest man on the floor. Lastinger goes in, wild shot. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Connecticut up by 9.
I tell you, Clemson better start getting back a little bit faster.
Gwynn off the glass. Make it Smith. 10 points now for Chris Smith. He leads. Gwynn has 9, backing him up, so the guards have been doing it scoring-wise for UConn.
Oh, there's a push-off by Campbell. Knocked Burrell right to the floor.
Lastinger hits a 3-point basket. The Tigers hanging in there, down by 8. Keep in mind that Connecticut did not lose a game all year when they were leading at the half.
Let's see, we have them in a triangle and 2. We have Lassiter and the 2 big guys are inside in the triangle. And then we have the 2 people outside playing Gwynn and Chris Smith. So they've given us a number of looks here in this half. Chris, he's looking at all this and saying, you know, we're playing very poorly, turning the ball over, and we're still in this thing.
That they are, trying to take advantage of a UConn turnover. But Campbell throws it away to Burrell. And missing the shot inside. And now the basket. DePriest missed. And the basket by Smith.
See, Dick, you can make mistakes. You can turn the basketball over. But when you do that, you better retreat quickly and start playing transition defense, because Connecticut is so fast in trying to push the ball right down your throat. And that was an excellent example of that.
Wayne Buckingham replaces Eldon Campbell, goes out with 9 points. Smith now with 12 points is the leading scorer in the game. Campbell on the bench, and all the Tigers shaking their heads against the suffocating defense by Connecticut.
Well, Jimmy Calhoun said the man on the foul line, Chris Smith, is A, my best defender, and also the guy I'm going to at the end of the game for the big shot.
Minute remaining in the first half. Connecticut by 11. Had the lead cut down to 5. And the shot by Tyson might have been a pass. Coming back down is Connecticut. Smith. Boy, Gwynn is all over the floor looking for the offensive rebounds. He's had a great first half. Coming up at halftime, Jim Nance and Mike Francesa to discuss this game and bring you up to date on the other one going on between Arkansas and North Carolina.
Sean Laettner is doing a nice job. He's taking the trap, he's stepping through it, making the passes.
The shot clock and the game clock are practically even right now. Maybe a second differential. Lastinger gets it inside to Davis, who gets the basket. It's a 9-point game. Final seconds. Chris Smith misses. Rebound by Davis. And traveling called, so Connecticut has just under 2 seconds left to try something. And Adub Hennefeld will come back in.
Watch the threes now. They're putting in all their three-point shooters.
Tate George along with Hennefeld. Colby Brown, 6'8" junior, coming in. And there is Campbell again.
In a situation like this, you're constantly worried about the lob in front of the rim or a deep. Oh my.
They don't get the shot up and the buzzer sounds. So Clemson has turned it over as many times in the first half as they've averaged all year, 16. And that's the end of the first half with the score. Connecticut 38 and Clemson 29. CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station. We're back here at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, where Connecticut leads Clemson 38-29 at the half of this Eastern Regional semifinal. The shooting is down. Clemson at 36, Connecticut at 40, but Connecticut has shot badly and won all season long. The turnovers, Clemson already with 16. That matches their season's average. And the UConn, because of those turnovers, have outscored Clemson 14-2 with the fast break points. The question is, did you know, if you're Clemson and you look at the tape, you know what kind of pressure Connecticut uses? What is your view on what Clemson has done or not done?
Well, first of all, if you're going to beat the trap, once you get the ball over half court, you must get the ball up into the corners or into the middle of the floor to get yourself some easy baskets. We are not seeing that at all. We are playing Connecticut's game right now.
Jim Calhoun, you talk about coaches who have really paid their dues in this big ring now, trying to get to the Final Four. You must have a feeling for what Jim is going through and the joy.
Oh, I do. Anytime that somebody picks you to finish 7th in your conference, and then I look at you today, you're 30-5, and you are in the Big East, you know you're doing a great job. He has nothing but the highest regard for his kids. They work so hard, he said. They're the ones that are making this press go. This just isn't X's and O's. You can put X's and O's out there, but you better have 10 kids who want to put the intensity into it.
All right, and he does have those kids. And CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship Regional Semifinal game from East Rutherford, New Jersey is sponsored by Mass Mutual. At Mass Mutual, we help you keep your promises. GTE. At GTE, the power is on. And by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown as we start the second half. Adub Hennefeld will inbound it. Tate George and Chris Smith in the backcourt. Scott Burrell and Torreno Walker also up front. Clemson starting out with 3 guards. Marion Cash, Derek Forrest, and Kirkland Howling are all in the game. 3-guard offense now for Clemson.
Clemson's in a man-to-man. It's the first time in a long while.
Adub Hennefeld, yes, changes his hand and scores. He's averaging 17 on the season, and for Hennefeld, that's his first basket. Arkansas leading North Carolina.
Connecticut matching up and then chasing you down the floor. Once they get here, this is where they've been tough all
night. In trouble, and the 5-second violation causes the 17th turnover of the game.
See, there are no outlets to pass the basketball to. Every time these guys are getting double and triple teamed, you have mathematical numbers below this trap. Unfortunately for the ball handler, the players are not coming to meet the pass.
Burrell looking inside, and they'll call the foul the other way, an offensive foul. And it's going to be on Adub Hennefeld. That'll be his 3rd personal foul.
So, we're talking about Connecticut is only shooting 40%. But you can be ahead in a game like this because you have 15 more shots, all coming off the turnover situation.
Kirkland Howling gets it across. Walker nearly tied him up. And it's gone by. Forrest trying to penetrate, nothing doing. Kirkland Howling misses a 3. Burrell gets the rebound. for Connecticut. Tate George is able to get inside for layups in the first half. Chris Smith hits another three-point basket. That's his third of the game, and he's got 16.
See, with Clemson lumbering back on defense, anytime a Connecticut player penetrates the circle, they can kick the ball out. Guys have been wide open all game, Dick.
First of two here at the Meadowlands. Duke and UCLA will play in the second game, and will play the winner of this game in Saturday's regional final. A kickball at a new 45-second clock for the Tigers. Came into this game 26-8. Won the regular season Atlantic Coast Conference title. First time in 37 years. Now trying to advance after beating Brigham Young and LaSalle after falling behind and eking through in those first two games.
Well, Cliff Ellis said, you know, we look ugly when we play because we're not a good shooting team. But he said we usually get it back defensively.
Well, there's the lob, and it worked from Cash to Campbell.
First one today.
Burrell gets quickly on baseline. No foul, nearly another turnover. Tate George off the mark. Dale Davis gets the rebound. Here's the outlet. A 3-on-2 right now for Clemson. Cash misses, gets his own rebound. And misses that. Clemson has had myriad chances inside to do things, and this will be UConn's ball.
I just don't like the decisions on the fast break for Clemson. They've had at least 4 where they've had big numbers. That time you had a 3-on-2, and instead of giving the basketball up, they end up with a contested shot.
UConn still beating Clemson on the offensive glass, which is a surprise. Hennefeld with the fake. Crashing the boards, coming out of it is Kirkland Howling. Now Cash with the running jumper. Davis tries with the follow-up. Now Cash, and it's finally tipped up and in by Dale Davis, but this is a wild shooting team, even from in close.
I don't think he even left the floor. He just stuck his hand up and put that back.
And the jumper by Tate George. That's a 2-point basket. The lead is 12 for Connecticut, but Clemson, even when they get good percentage shots, are just throwing them up wildly.
Connecticut is coming back now into a 1-3-1 half-court trap. They keep changing up. Sometimes they give you a 3/4 court press, full court press, then a half court.
Howling going for 3, misses. Eldon Campbell with the follow-up. That's Clemson's game when they miss the shot.
Well, and speaking to Cliff Ellis yesterday, that's what we thought that they would be doing this entire game.
Into the game is Sean Tyson, and Howling goes out for Clemson. Tyson is Howling out. Tyson last year lost 30 pounds and missed all year with emergency gallbladder surgery. He started the game, and this is his first appearance in the second half. Here's Smith off the high post, Burrell, and Burrell with the follow-up. Scott Burrell with 6 points. Plays much taller than 6'5".
That is the 11th Connecticut offensive rebound. Now that is a ton against 2 great defensive board people like Clemson has.
Connecticut has handled it well, which means that Clemson has not been alert off the defensive glass at all. Arian Cash, they have some country guys, according to Cliff Ellis, and some city boys. Cash is one of the city boys. Forrest stepped on the line, and yet another turnover.
You cannot take a dick on the baseline because Connecticut rotates so quickly, they force you into the turnover.
Here's the story in the other half of the bracket in the Southeast Regional. Michigan State and Georgia Tech will follow Minnesota and Syracuse, with the winners playing Sunday. And out in Oakland, a couple of great stories there. Ball State, can they keep it going, a Cinderella team? But all eyes will be on the first game, Loyola Marymount against Alabama. And one of the great stories in many years in the NCAA tournament. Terrena Walker's shot rejected by Dale Davis. It is still UConn ball.
In the early going here in the second half, Dick, the fact that Clemson is back playing you man-to-man, they seem to be more organized, and they're getting better floor coverage.
They give Smith the open shot. The basket is good. And a foul, a 3-point shot could turn into a 4-point play.
How about that for great floor coverage? That was an outstanding pick. The defensive player pushed the pick right down to the floor, and it just opened up the shooter even for more time. You watch this right now. When the ball comes in bounds to the left of your screen, see, there's the pick and the open shot.
Dale Davis committed the foul. So it was not a shooting foul, so only a three-point play, but Chris Smith has 19 points, including 4 from three-point range. Burrell misses, tipped by Terreno Walker, and comes down in the hands of Eldon Campbell. And if he's been a laid-back style, he better open up a little bit against Connecticut's aggressiveness. Campbell leads with 13 points, but they expect more on the glass from him. Connecticut foul is against Walker, his third personal.
See, Connecticut, they use all their fouls. They're rotating 10 guys. You come in, you play with intensity, and when your coach tells you to play hard like that and don't worry about the foul situation, that gives you a lot of freedom. You will gamble more in close situations.
Rod Sellers replaces Terreno Walker in the UConn lineup. Lead is 15, biggest lead of the game for Connecticut. In the lane, the basket is going to count by Marion Cash, and a foul as well.
Very strong move.
The Dove Hennefeld, meanwhile, has picked up his 4th personal foul. And as you pointed out, it's a deep team and they use them all. Murray Williams could be coming back in quickly. Williams will replace Hennefeld, who goes out. Hennefeld has scored only 2 points, and he really hasn't had to do that much more offensively.
No, but what he is he's, when you press full court and you change your defenses, you have key people that keep your presses and traps together. He's like almost the captain in that area there. Jimmy Calhoun says he's constantly talking to the rest of the players, and he does a lot of unselfish things.
Cash makes the free throw. The lead is 12. Tate George, the only senior on the squad for Connecticut. He's the link between Jim Calhoun and the team, he told us yesterday.
Chris Allen's very confident that his team can come down once they're down big. They've been down as many as 17 at Georgia Tech and 13 at Maryland, 11 at Virginia, 19 at LaSalle, and they've been able to get it done with their defense.
Smith penetrating and off the glass. 21 points now for Chris Smith. He's above his season's average already. MVP of the Big East tournament. Cash trying to fight for it, and the possession arrow will favor Clemson.
See, anytime that you think you're going to beat good pressure defense with the dribble, time after time after time, you know that over the course of the game they're going to turn you over. That's why we brought that point out early in the first half. What they do is they sucker you into believing that that is their weak point. Now, if you think from the middle of that first half to how many times they turn you over off the dribble.
Derek Forrest into the game for Clemson. Tyson missed the shot. Burrell with the rebound. 52-38, and Connecticut in control of this game. 10 rebounds for Burrell. And Connecticut continues to pile it on.
They're loose now, Dick. They're shooting with a lot of confidence.
Into the corner was Sean Tyson. Tyson comes back, but they can't just trade baskets now. Tyson with 6. George also with 6, who scored previously. No basket as Burrell goes to the hoop, and another Clemson foul.
See, this is where Clemson has been so vulnerable. After they turn the ball over, they never get back to pick up the Connecticut penetrators. Now, we just had a score at that end, and Connecticut still beats them down the floor and get an easy opportunity that you must foul.
John Gwynn replaces Chris Smith, who goes out with 21 points. Burrell now, he has 10 rebounds already. This is his 7th point. Arkansas continues to lead the Tar Heels 39-34. 4 ACC teams left in the Final 8.
Squeeze in. Squeeze. Right now.
Burrell averaging 8 on the year, now has 8 points. And the lead is 16, biggest of the game. The time, 13:20 to go, but Clemson has given no indication they're going to make inroads on Connecticut in this second half.
Well, if you continue to play 5 offensive players in the backcourt against a full-court trap, well, then you're not going to get any easy layups at the other end because Connecticut is so quick with their feet in covering the ground.
Tyson inside. Good pass to Davis. And a pushing foul. That'll be the 4th team foul against Connecticut. Tyson and Sellers and Tate George. A little heated action.
Now here we have it. A nice drive. Now just watch the trap. They're always trapping and they cut off the outlets outside. It's beautiful to watch because you have 5 guys on a string defensively and every player is covering hard for another guy.
A technical foul has been called against Dale Davis, I believe. 2 shots in possession coming up.
This just comes out of frustration. You know, when you're a big guy and you're down inside and you're accustomed to getting the ball very easily, and then tonight, every time you try to get a pass, there are 2 and 3 guys tugging at you. Here he is right now. One guy hit him on the arm. That's what he's looking for. Boom. Hits with the shoulder in retaliation.
Smith will shoot the technical. Sophomore from Bridgeport, Connecticut. There's one thing you can say about UConn. They're keeping all the good players at home these days, and the look on the Clemson bench trying to find the answer. Smith with another free throw coming.
Once Jimmy Calhoun came to Connecticut, he has picked up the Connecticut High School Player of the Year in the last three years, and that's terrific. And the main guy that turned it was right here on the foul line, Chris Smith. Once he got him to commit, you know, that was a major breakthrough.
Dale Davis on the bench. Wayne Buckingham replaces him. The lead now is up to 18 points. Clemson has had no answer for Connecticut's pressure once they got going. Gambling is Tyson for the steal. Murray Williams misses the shot. Comes down to UConn. They've been doing it off the offensive glass all game, and now Burrell is fouled going in and will go to the line.
You said it all right there, Dick. It's the offensive boards. I think, to me, this is the most surprising thing in this game tonight. We knew Clemson would have difficulty with the press because they've had that kind of trouble all year. We knew that UConn would turn them over because that is their forte. But the one factor tonight is the quickness, and they now have 13 offensive rebounds. That is a ton.
And you would have thought that even if they had gotten chances to beat the press, which Clemson has done tonight, if they missed the shot, they would make good on the offensive rebound, and they have not done that so well tonight.
Well, we said kind of poor decisions on the break.
Buckingham committed the foul. Scott Burrell looking for his 10th point of the game. Only makes 1. Smith with 23 leads UConn. He is the only player in double figures, but that's all they need right now.
See, now they're back into their 2-3 zone. They keep giving you so many different looks.
Forrest is nowhere to go with it, looking for help, yelling for help from his teammates. Buckingham with a turnaround. Just a freshman from Atlanta. They think he's going to be a fine one down the line. We want to welcome those who've been watching North Carolina and Arkansas. This is our story in the second half. Connecticut has dominated Clemson throughout this game and lead right now 59-42. We're at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown with you. And when we get back, we'll bring you up to date on what kind of a game this has been. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown. Here's the story, and the #1 number is the big one, the offensive rebound, Hubie.
A big surprise in this ball game up to date. We realized that the UConn press would be dynamite, and Clemson has turned the ball over 18 times, and it's led to many fast breaks. And then also another somewhat surprise is the outstanding outside three-point shooting of Connecticut up to date.
One of the turnovers going the other way, and Marion Cash misses the layup. Sean Tyson follows up. Clemson has not been without great chances, especially early on, but they missed all the good chances they had.
This is the first time today that we are seeing over half-court pressure by Clemson.
It is still Connecticut ball, and they've got to pull out the stops now, and coming back into the game is Tate George, so they need a good ball handler against the pressure defense by Clemson in midcourt.
Well, it's been a game of easy baskets. Connecticut is getting them all off the second shots and the fast break, and Clemson has been struggling. There's been nothing easy for them today.
Chris Smith, 23 points, the high score in the game. DePriest tried to get it inside to Sellers. Jim Calhoun in his third year at Connecticut with a withering defensive pressure, 30-5 coming into this game.
See, this is very smart. UConn working the ball, taking their time, running clock. You're down to 6 seconds on the shot clock.
Sellers trapped in the corner. Here's DePriest. And they use the clock, and DePriest scores. Normally a defensive specialist, and it's 61-44.
That's smart basketball.
Later tonight, it'll be Duke against UCLA. Connecticut could be facing the winner of that game in the regional final on Saturday. Here, going to keep it going, and it's going to be Clemson's ball.
Good hustle here this time. This is excellent. Both ball clubs hustling. UConn just seems to get to almost every loose ball, whether it's on the floor or it's in the air coming off of a missed shot.
Marion Cash, a senior. 3 seniors started this game for Clemson. Cash, Derek Forrest, and Eldon Campbell. Connecticut with only 1 senior. But the younger team is in front and really has caused all sorts of problems for Clemson. New clock. Still Clemson's ball, but they're down by 61-44.
Anytime that you dribble the basketball, if you're on Clemson, down into the wing area, they double team you.
3-point attempt by Derek Forrest doesn't go, and the follow-up by Tyson. And we'll have a Connecticut foul. Could be Sellers for the UConn. That'll be the 5th team foul against Connecticut, and the second they'll call that on Murray Williams.
Good go, guys. White under, we go. White under.
Halftime with Arkansas leading North Carolina. You know, a lot of people were not surprised that they would beat Oklahoma, but Arkansas, everyone told us how tough they were in that Southwest Conference, especially earlier in the year.
Well, I haven't spoken to anyone who does not think that Arkansas, talent-wise, can match up with anyone still left in this tournament. Carolina naturally received the blow by losing Madden, and you know, you're talking about a double-figure player for you, but more important, a senior leadership guy.
Did you see possibly Texas maybe against Arkansas in the regional final? That'd be quite a feather in the hat of the Southwest Conference. Tom Pender's team going up against Xavier.
Everyone coming into this game said that Clemson will get the ball down inside.
3-point basket by Cash, and that is the second 3-point basket of the game for Clemson. Lead is 13. Here's DePriest. Connecticut is getting layups.
Well, the difference between the teams is when you go down offensively for Connecticut to the baseline, you don't get double teamed and you can pass the ball into the middle.
Cash.
Wow.
Buckingham and nearly tore the basket off the hinges.
Watch this penetration, and now only 1 defensive player, but easy to pick out the offensive player who's open in front of the basket, and then a heady pump fake.
Foul is on DePriest. John Gwynn has come in the game. And Burrell as well. There's Gwynn, who scored 9 points in the first half coming off the bench.
Now you're Clemson, Dick. You have a little less than 9 minutes to go in this game. You're down 15, but on the next UConn foul, you're shooting the penalty. So, you know, this isn't something that they could not get done here, but they must start turning the ball over into UConn, either backcourt or forcing them into some bad shots now so they can get out in the open floor.
Marion Cash, who averaged 23 points as a junior college player and had to play in the shadow of the likes of Kenny Anderson, Chris Corsiani, and John Crotty at Virginia. Cash quietly did the job for Cliff Ellis this year.
Well, they're out here in this high 1-3-1 half-court trap.
Connecticut handling the trap exceedingly well. Win. Baseline to DePriest. No hurry. Burrell inside to DePriest, knocked away by Campbell. Connecticut has 20 seconds to try a shot.
See, when you're up by double digits, you're up 14 right now, you don't want to rush things. Why take a quick shot? The reason why Clemson is in a half-court trap is to get you out of your tempo, speed things up, and shoot the long jump shot. Connecticut not doing
There's a steal by Tyson. Let's see what Clemson does on this break, and they throw it away. Marion Cash was too close to him, and Clemson misses another break opportunity. That's their 20th turnover. Still a 14-point lead for UConn. They had it up to 19 at one point in the second half. Eight minutes remaining in the second half.
UConn just taking their time. They're not going anywhere fast.
Sellers in the lane. Not expected to play with the injured knee. He injured against California. There he is today, Sellers, with 4 points. Howling got it in trouble. Cash. Tyson, baseline. Tough shot because another defender came up to meet him.
That was an excellent move by Sean Tyson. And they should go to him a little bit more out on that wing because he's getting the job done.
Connecticut led by 9 at the half, stretched it to 19 in the second half. We'll play the winner of Duke and UCLA to follow here at the Meadowlands for the Eastern Regional title. That'll be decided on Saturday. Gwynn misses, long rebound, comes down into the hands of Scott Burrell. Gwynn. Tyson clears.
Now for Gwynn, you know that Jimmy Calhoun's going to let him take that shot. They don't call him Vinny Johnson for nothing. They say instant heat or what?
What he is, and plus some pretty good defensive play.
In Clemson now, you've got to get down into your strength.
Tyson on the baseline. Here's Campbell. Short jump shot missed, tipped in by Dale Davis. Davis has 10 points now, and he's got 12 rebounds. So quietly, Davis is starting to make his presence felt. Did on the boards in the first half. Lead down to 12 now, and 6:10 remaining.
See, the one problem when you're coaching, that when you're running clock, is that you've got to keep scoring. There you go. You don't want to run clock and then end up without a good shot or a turnover. You want to get up there and take good shot opportunities.
Timeout called by Clemson.
Now you'll see right here, now watch the dribble coming off the pick. No one stepped out. Opens up the baby jump shot.
Nothing beats #1. Nothing beats the king of beers. Nothing beats clean crisp.
Well, here's Jim Calhoun, the head coach of Connecticut, and his son, James Calhoun Jr., who's a senior at the school, and his girlfriend is Jennifer Persico, who's the team manager. So this is a bit of a family tree, and hopefully someday a branch on that tree.
Oh, I like that. They never have to worry about sneakers and sweatshirts, right? Is that what you're going to tell me?
Something like that. Eldon Campbell hits the basket and gets the foul. Campbell now with 15. Arkansas leading 42-36. Lyman DePriest with his second personal, and that is the 7th team foul against UConn. So now it'll be bonus time for Clemson the rest of the way.
Campbell really has a nice soft touch. Stick around that 15, 18-foot area.
Team is not a good free throw shooting team. Not a good shooting team from the field. Defense has kept them where they are this season, and they're trying to use it to bring them back now.
Howling, excellent pressure.
Connecticut stays on their half of the court. Burrell.
When teams are out double and triple teaming you cannot pass sideways from side court to side court. You want to go up north, south, and make them pay for the double and triple team.
Kirkland howling with the foul. That is only the 4th team foul against Clemson.
That's his second, team 4.
Leading scorer for Connecticut, Chris Smith with 23 points, followed by Burrell and Gwynn, each with 9. Cerulic has the ball knocked away by Campbell. Forrest has it, and they'll call Cerulic with the foul. So it'll be 1-1. And Derek Forrest will go to the line. 49% free throw shooter. Here's what you were talking about before, Hubie, the deficit that the Tigers have faced and have come back to win all 4 of those, including their last game against LaSalle.
Well, you know, Cliff Ellis feels so sure that they can come back on you, from their defensive standpoint. He knows he's got a poor shooting ball club, and they have done it so many times that they almost expect what they're going to do.
So Forrest, who is shooting under 50 from the line, hits the first. They're about 65 for the game. And he makes them both. 10-point game now, 67-57, and now Clemson's full court track.
First time, a 1-2-1-1. You must take it down and score.
And it was deflected by Campbell, and it's going to be Clemson's ball, and the Tigers are on a 17-9 run. Wayne Buckingham, wake up. This could be a good game before it's over.
There you go. You know, you don't get cute when you're on a 2-on-1 fast break. You make the easy pass.
4 minutes and 40 seconds now remaining in the game. UConn was up by as many as 19. 9 points have been shaved off of the lead. Howling hits a 3-point basket to cut it to 7. And Clemson is doing it again in a timeout called by UConn. So the excitement picks up here at the Meadowlands. 67-60 our score. They're back at the Meadowlands Arena.
Go Tigers! Go Tigers!
67-60, Connecticut leads. Clemson's been on a 20-9 run in the last 8 minutes. And Walker loses the ball, and so Clemson's full court trap is paying dividends now, Hubie.
Well, you know, there's an old saying, and it's done at all basketball clinics. Always press a pressing team because they understand the psychology of their press and the turnovers. Now, right now, that was an uncontested pass, and the ball went right through the legs of the receiver.
That kind of thing was happening to Clemson from UConn's press earlier.
Now, remember, Clemson is shooting the penalty.
Good pass inside to Dale Davis, and he's fouled by Terreno Walker from behind. Davis has had good position inside throughout the game, and this will be Walker's 4th personal foul. The Dove Hennefeld has been on the bench with 4 fouls. He's in the game right now, and now Walker has 4. Rod Sellers will replace Walker. So here's Dale Davis on the line. He has 10 points and 13 rebounds. Junior from Toccoa, Georgia. It's the free throw. Davis is a 63% free throw shooting. North Carolina has edged in front of Arkansas.
Cliff Ellis very confident, though. He said in the last 3 minutes of games, it's incredible how we make the foul shot.
1 and a 2, but Davis gets the rebound and gets 2 more. And now it's 67-63, and there's the full court again.
Well, let's see now whether they attack it and try to score.
Sellers overthrows Burrell, and it was saved by Hennefeld. And they're going to call the foul against Clemson. But Hennefeld had saved an errant pass with a fine catch at the baseline. Want to welcome those who have been watching the Arkansas-North Carolina game. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown. Connecticut led by 19 in the second half, but a tremendous burst by Clemson. A 23-9 run in the last 9 minutes has brought them to within 4.
Everything is dictated, Dick, by the full court 1-2-1-1 trap, and also when they get into the half-court trap.
Tate George in the lane. Loses the ball, and the pass he has shot it. 2-on-1 break, and Forrest lays it in. Derek Forrest, and it's 67-65, and Connecticut's the team rattled right now.
It's just interesting, see, because Connecticut's contented getting the ball over half court.
Clemson's foul, it'll be their 16th foul. So Jim Calhoun is seeing his team under pressure for the first time tonight. And they've turned it over more times than Clemson. Howling with his second person. And now they're in the bonus as Cash fouls, and now it'll be 1-1 for both teams.
That was a bad foul because no time went off the clock, and he didn't have a chance for a steal, an opportunity for a steal. It was just, I'm holding on to you, and I'm going to foul you.
It's amazing, Hubie, not only in this game, and not only with Clemson, but how many games teams have had big leads and have squandered leads in this tournament. I mean, it's really been the rule more than the exception. Tate George hits the front end. And there's his mom, Erica, who is just seeing herself on the big screen up here at the Meadowlands. George makes them both. He's got 10. Lead is 4 for UConn. There's the time remaining.
UConn changing now. They're going to a 1-3-1 trap. They're trying to, now let's go to the defense. Give them a different look. You can't let them split.
They get it inside to Davis. Trying to keep it alive, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Clemson. Clemson had made 6 shots in a row before that sequence. Hennefeld, quiet offensively with only 2 points tonight, averaging 17 on the season. Winding down to 3 minutes to go.
Now it's going to be interesting. How much clock do you run out here, or do you continue to play?
Inside and over the top is Eldon Campbell. That's his 3rd personal foul, but it'll be 1-1 on the line for UConn. It'll be Rod Sellers, who is a 53% shooter. Campbell has scored 15 points, leading scorer for Clemson. And Dale Davis second to him with 13. Davis the rebound as Sellers misses the front end. Minutes left in Dallas in the Arkansas-Carolina battle in the Midwest Regional Semifinal.
The main thing here is that UConn is in their press.
Howling misses a 3, and it's tipped up and in by Dale Davis, and it's 69-67.
Boy, has he come to life in the last 10 minutes. Once this action is picked up, he's been doing an outstanding job on the boards.
9 points in the second half, most of his rebounds in the first. Hennefeld nearly lost it. 2-point game, Connecticut in front, and the UConn will call a timeout. They've got 2 left. Yeah, little furrowed brow for Jim Calhoun. Connecticut getting a test for the first time in this championship. They beat Boston University in California. 22-point average, but now a 2-point game with 2:15 remaining.
Well, in those first 2 games that they won, the forced turnovers gave them an advantage of 69-6 in points.
Want to welcome those who've been watching the Midwest Regional in Dallas between North Carolina and Arkansas. This game has tightened up in a big way. Clemson has outscored Connecticut 27-10 after falling behind by 19.
They've gone to a spread offense now. They're looking to take you off the dribble.
Smith goes inside to Burrell. They're going to use the clock. Hennefeld nearly saved another turnover on an errant pass.
See, in this situation, you try to have your best foul shooters with the basketball.
5 seconds on the shot. Tate George is picked up on the trap. Hennefeld fires it up, misses, didn't have much time. Dale Davis with the rebound, and Clemson looking at a chance to tie.
Davis was a little upset because there were 2 orange shirts racing to the other end of the floor for a possible layup, but he couldn't get them the basketball.
Clemson looking to tie this game. What an improbable turn of events here after it looked as if Clemson had no way of solving Connecticut's defensive pressure.
Well, you know, Clemson came in with a couple outside shots, and then Davis down inside getting all the offensive rebounds, and then their pressure defense has done an excellent job.
That's Marion Cash, the point guard. Derek Forrest, the swing man. Howland, the good outside shooter. And the shot by Cash is batted out of bounds by Tate George. And a new clock. There's the score. Carolina leading Arkansas by 1 in the second half. Rod Sellers replaces John Gwynn in the Connecticut lineup, so they're going bigger now.
When that shot was attempted, Tate George blocked it with 1 second left on the shot clock. And then time expired.
Under a minute to go and 40 on the shot clock. Game coming down to the last minute, and a 3-point shot is missed by Howland. Burrell knocks it away, and it's still Clemson's ball. He tried to throw it off a Clemson player, but I think the Clemson player was on the line.
Yes, he was. Now remember, in this situation, Clemson has 3 timeouts and UConn 2.
Derek Forrest goes out of the game, replaced by David Young, a sophomore who started a lot of the season. Good ball handler.
Good perimeter shooter.
They can almost play for the last shot, but they're down by 2.
Now, this is interesting that they're running time here. I would think that they would go down inside.
Especially with the offensive rebounding possibility.
All right, right now, UConn is in a 2-3, very aggressive zone.
Young inside. They surround the big man, Davis, and Davis stepped on the line and turns it over to Connecticut.
Well, that has been their thing all night. Their Cliffels looking for a timeout. Anytime you drive the baseline, there have been 3 shirts on you all game long. This has been consistent. Watch how they rotate. You'll see this pass. Now here they are. They're playing around with you, but they want to go down inside. Here comes the drive. Now watch the move. There they are.
Hennefeld will inbound. What does Clemson want to do?
Well, they got to play tough defense. Try for the steal. If you don't get it, go for the foul. Now UConn wants to spread them out.
They nearly got the steal.
Wow.
It came oh so close right in front of the Clemson bench. And now they've changed it. It's Clemson's ball.
See, that time, once you make that pass, you must get rid of the ball quickly or use a timeout. You cannot allow them to trap you in a situation like that.
Each team has 2 timeouts remaining. No fouls to give. And the penalty and the possession arrow favors Connecticut. And a timeout called by Clemson, so they'll be left with 1 timeout.
Now we're going to take a look at the last play for you. Now here's your inbound pass. See, once they make that trap, you have got to, you must spread out, come and meet that basketball. Plus, any ball that's loose, you go get it. You do not allow a referee to have to make a major decision in a game like this. Now, let's look at Clemson. Clemson taking this ball out of bounds. You know there's 17 seconds to go. There's plenty of time. But what you want to do is go inside, make them play you, then come back out. And then that should open up some outside perimeter shooting.
Connecticut has 2 timeouts left. UConn trying to advance. Clemson was down by 19 points, and in the last 12 minutes have fought back to come within 2, using the weapon that Connecticut used against them to open up their lead, the full court pressure.
Well, Cliff Ellis said it yesterday, our defense will bring us back. And he did, because when he went to that full court, 1-2-1, and then when he went to the half court, he took the tempo right away from Connecticut. They played keep away without penetrating.
Connecticut has brought in Lyman DePriest. He's their best defender. There's the story in Dallas. David Young has come in, and there are now 3 guards in there for Clemson with 17.5 seconds left, plus Davis and Campbell.
Now, right now, UConn is giving away a lot of size down inside. And like we say, you've got Elton Campbell at 6'11" and Dale Davis at 6'11". NFL being the tallest.
And here's David Young with the 3-point basket. And Clemson leads by 1, and Connecticut will call a timeout. Clemson leads for the first time since the early going. The last Clemson lead was at 5-4, and now Connecticut has to go the length of the floor, trailing by 1.
Well, right now, Clemson is in a 1-3-1 at 3-quarter court. Now, the reason why you get in this is so that you can get 2 guys on any dribbler. It'll be interesting to see how UConn attacks.
Hennefeld and Smith bring it up. Tate George with the ball. Tate George fakes at the top of the key, goes up with it. It's short. Knocked around. Rebound. Tyson of Clemson with 1 second and a foul against Burrell, and Clemson can wrap it up on the line. What an improbable turnaround, but if you've been following the Tigers, nothing unusual.
Like Cliff said, we win ugly. Sometimes it's amazing that we've won 26 games. We're a poor shooting team, but our defense is what brings us back. And it's the old story. You have more than one defensive look, you can get the job done, and that's what happened today.
So Sean Tyson, who lost 30 pounds after gallbladder surgery and missed last season, but one of the better free throw shooters at 75% on the line. And a timeout with exactly 1 second to go. That's the last timeout used by UConn. We're back here at the Meadowlands. Connecticut has to go the length of the floor in 1 second, and Clemson has also used its last timeout, obviously, to look to see who was out there for Connecticut and what they're trying to set up.
Well, what they did is as soon as they saw the Connecticut alignment, they had Elton Campbell on the ball. So they're putting the biggest fella with the longest arms, and he's going to play the guy out of bounds. But then Cliff Ellis very smartly called timeout to see where he saw where the other people were going to be aligned. Now, does Jim Calhoun, does he change his alignment now? Okay, at the other end of the floor. He only has 1 second. Neither team has a timeout. But this is smart basketball by putting your tallest guy on the out-of-bounds man, because he cannot see past him once he puts up his arms.
They're the comebacks for Clemson, but keep in mind that if they wrap this one up after being down by 19, it would be against certainly the best team that they had staged to come back all season. Coming up after this game here at the Meadowlands, the winner of this, Clemson's leading, will play the survivor of Duke against UCLA. Dale Davis with 15 points, 17 rebounds. Campbell, the other part of the duo of doom, also with 15, and Smith with 23 leading Connecticut.
All right, now they have Campbell on the ball right now, and everyone else is matched up.
Scott Burrell will inbound, and he's got Burrell at 6'5", facing 6'11" Campbell.
Well, I'll tell you, Marion Cass has just left Chris Smith here. Now, I don't know whether they're enticing a pass to Chris Smith, but he's standing right in front of half court here. No one playing him. Maybe this is a con. Let's see what happens. Now we're ready to go.
Here goes the long pass with 1 second to go. The shot. Yes! The shot's going to count. The shot by Tate George wins it. This is unbelievable. The whole turn of events. One way and then the other. Tate George wins it with a jumper. They went the length of the court and won it with 1 second to play, Hubie.
Not only the shot, but the fact that he caught the pass in traffic.
There's his mom, Erica. Looks to be in tears. Caught it in traffic and his back was to the basket.
Landed, turn, and let it fly.
Tate George, Connecticut will advance to the regional final on an amazing shot.
There's your long pass. Here's your catch. How about the presence of regrouping for the elevation of that shot?
And a man in his face. He was defensed well.
There's Campbell up. Now here's your look. Now here it is right there in traffic.
You know, Sean Tyson didn't want to foul and didn't put his hands up, didn't want to come close. Never thought Tate George could hit that shot. But he did, and Connecticut wins 71-70. How do they react on the UConn bench? Is this what it's all about? Jim Calhoun gets to the regional final, and Cliff Ellis can't believe what he saw. Clemson had outscored Connecticut 30-10 in the last 12.5 minutes after being down by 19 and seemingly had the game in their pocket. Even called a timeout. But you know, Scott Burrell knows how to throw the ball, doesn't he? He was the #1 choice of the Seattle Mariners as a pitcher in last summer's draft. So he can bring it, as they say.
And like they say, he turned down over $100,000 to come and play basketball at UConn.
You wonder when the drama will fizzle, but it doesn't in this tournament. And Erica, his mom, and there's gotta be heartbreak for the people from South Carolina. So Connecticut moves to the regional final and will play the winner of Duke and UCLA on Saturday.